Question number 1. Factor the following expressions. First, I've got a polynomial with two variables, x and a, and when I look at all the coefficients, I could factor out -7, including the negative. And I would have 2x to the 5th a cubed plus negative 3x squared a to the 7th minus x to the 4th a to the 8th, and finally -7. For b, it's a quadratic. So I'm going to show you several ways. Please study this one. It is essential that you know this scale. So the first way of doing it is to break down this middle term into two terms with coefficients m and n, such as m times n equals 3 times -6, which is -18. And if I add them up, that gives me this +7. And given those conditions, that means that m will be equal to +9 and n would be equal to -2, or vice versa. As you can see, 9 times -2 is -18, and 9 plus -2 is +7. So I'm going to break that down. Plus 9x minus 2x. Then I'm going to factor by grouping. If I group those two, I can factor out 3x. I would have x plus 3. And if I group those two, I can factor out -2. And I would have x plus 3. Now appears a common factor that I'm going to factor out. So let me write it down here. I have x plus 3. So I'm factoring out this common factor, and I'm left with 3x minus 2. 3x minus 2. Now, would you prefer a more visual way? You can do the diamond method, because you can hold it into a diamond. The starting point is the same. You're going to multiply 3 and -6. You're going to report the mid coefficient, and you're going to find m and n the same numbers, so it's 9 and -2. And on top of those fractions, you're going to write down ax, which is here, 3x. And then that will give you the two factors, 3x minus 2 here. Now for this one, you need to simplify the fraction, which simplifies as x over 3. And that gives you this one. That spares you the factoring by grouping. Instead, you eventually simplify a fraction. Problem C, you may recognize the difference of two squares. And when you have the difference of two squares, you can just follow that pattern. You should be familiar with this. But do not forget first to factor out the GCD. Here, I can factor out 4 and have 16a squared minus b to the 4th. And then I still have the difference of two squares, right? 16a squared is 4a, the whole thing squared, and b to the 4th is the square of b squared. And if I apply that pattern, I will have 4a minus b squared times 4a plus b squared. For D, I recognize the difference of two cubes. That is, when I have a cube minus b cube is going to be equal to a minus b times a squared plus the product ab plus b squared. Remember, whenever you have a minus here, you have a plus right there. So in that case, I will have, so let me make obvious the cube for each. I'll have 2y cube minus 5 cube. So in the role of A, 2y, in the role of B, 5. And then I just follow that pattern right there. And I will have 2y minus 5 times the square of 2y, which is 4y squared. I've got a minus here, I'm going to have a plus there. The product, a times b, and 2y times 5 is 10y, plus the square of b, which is 25.